Hello everyone, and thank you for watching my video on how to read and prepare yourself for your store-bought patterns. If you have bought your first pattern and don't know where to start, or if you have ever struggled gathering up the materials that you need for your project because you don't know how to properly read the back of your pattern, this video will go over all of those things. And by the end, you will know how to read and how to gather up all of the materials that you need for your project. If you are interested in more how to sew videos, please subscribe to my channel, as well as check out my Instagram for more recent updates. I hope you find this video informational, and if you have any questions at the end, please comment below and I will get back to you as soon as possible. In this video, I will be showing you how to properly read the back of your pattern so you can gather up all of the materials that you need for your sewing project. If you need to know how to properly measure yourself out to know which size you are, please check out the link above and it will guide you to my last video of how to properly measure yourself. For this video, I am going to be using McCall's7981 just for an example. But most other store-bought patterns will be fairly similar on how to guide you through what materials you need to get on the back. Now let's get to it. So now that you guys have a closer view on the pattern, I am briefly going to go over the front of the pattern first. So the front of this pattern here, you have a picture with a model showing style A of the skirt. And then on the side here, you have the other variations that the pattern provides. Some patterns, though, don't have all of the variations on the front of the pattern. Sometimes you will only find all of the variations of the pattern on the back of the envelope. We will get to the other side very shortly. On the front, you will also find the number of the pattern. This one is M7981, and you will also find the size run of the pattern. This one here is extra small to medium. Sometimes patterns are sold all together with all of the sizes, but most of the time you are going to find patterns that have either 2 or 3 different size ranges that you can purchase. Now, if you flip your pattern over to the back, you will find all of the important information you need to know. On the flap of the pattern, you are going to find the size guide. This will help you determine what size of pattern you will need to cut out. Keep in mind, though, that the measurements provided in this chart allows for ease. This means that it gives extra room to either breathe, move, or sit, depending on your pattern. They do give some finished garment measurements, which are going to be right here. The finished garment measurements means that these are going to be the exact measurements of the skirt after you made it. This one here, it gives the measurement at the hip line, the width of the lower edge, and the back length from waist. Each pattern will give a different finished garment measurement. It really all depends on which pattern you are doing. These measurements are here to help you determine whether or not you want to alter your pattern before you start sewing. For example, if you do not like how much flare or flowiness there is at the bottom of the skirt, you are going to want to look at the width of the lower edge measurement and determine from here how much you want to take off. If you are just a beginner, I would suggest for you just to use the measuring chart and to not alter your pattern right away. It takes a few times to understand exactly what you like and how certain fabrics drape, so you can determine your exact fit. It is easier to take in your garments opposed to having to expand them out. Now, if we zoom in a little bit more, I am going to explain to you the rest of the pattern. So at the top here, you have your suggested fabrics. For this pattern, it suggests cotton blends, wool blends, lightweight denim, and linen. The letters here on the side are going to be the different styles of skirts that you can do for this pattern. The numbers beside it are going to be the width of the fabric that you should purchase. And next over is going to be the yardage of fabric that you should purchase per size. So let's do an example. Let's say that we are going to do style C. I have a 60-inch width fabric that I'm interested in, and I am a size large. So I'm going to move my finger over to the size large. So it says here that I'm going to need 1 5/8 of fabric, but I live in Canada, so we don't go by yardage, we go by meters. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over to this side here. This side I'm pretty sure is the French version of the instructions. But what I can do is I can find style C. 60 inches is going to be 150 centimeters. And I'm going to move my finger over to the large size. So this means I am going to need 1.5 meters of fabric. Now for everything else that I need to get for this pattern is going to be underneath the fabric yardage. So here I am going to need some fusible interfacing for style A, B, C, and D. This here will tell you the width of the interfacing, and then over on this side here, you're going to find the yardage of how much you need to get of the interfacing. Underneath the interfacing is the notions. Here it says for A and C, we are going to need 5 1-inch buttons, and for B and D, we are going to need 7 1-inch buttons. And last but not least, at the very bottom of your pattern, you are going to find your technical sketches. So the technical sketches are just going to give you an overview of exactly how your garment is going to look like. So for here, for style A, you can see that there is a belt on the skirt, and this darker part on the fabric here shows that it's going to be a contrast fabric, meaning that there are going to be 2 different types of fabric that are required for style A. For style B, you can see that it's fairly similar to style A, but it doesn't have a belt and it's longer. For style C here, you can see that there is no gathers in the skirt and it's just flared and you have your buttons. Now you might not be able to quite see in the video, but if you do have a pattern, you can see very up close that there is another line right here by the hip. So that means that there is going to be a pocket, most likely an inseam pocket because you don't see the pocket on the outside of the skirt, in the front or the back. And for style D, it's going to be the exact same thing as style C, except that it's going to be longer. And that is it. Now you know how to read the back of your pattern so you can gather up all of the things you need before you start cutting out your pieces. If you enjoyed this video and would like to see more how to sew videos, please subscribe to my channel. And if you have any questions about this video, please leave a comment below and I will get back to you as fast as I can. Have a great day, everyone!